everyone. Well, my name is Alina. I'm an English teacher. I teach drama lessons and I teach English at all levels, including kindergarten as well. I'm here because throughout years I've been developing all my skills into the investigation of games. I believe I have a great experience in that area, so I like to share with you some of the activities that I use every day and very successfully. Especially now, we're going through this pandemic. I am convinced that we need to spice up our lessons. You know, we have a screen, we have those, Zoom lessons. Students are far away from us, there's this distance, so we need to find a way to engage them and create a nice and friendly atmosphere. That's why I'm going to prepare 2 videos. In this case, I will present 5 warm-ups that require almost no preparation at all. Then in the second part, I will also include other 5 warm-ups, but in that case, those will be more acting activities or activities that requires a little bit of movement. That's why I'm going to separate them. So let's go to warm-up number 1. You have to tell students that they need a piece of paper and a marker, and you tell them, write down an English word, the first word that comes to your mind. You have to give reasons why you choose that word. So you give them a certain amount of time, maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Then you count 1, 2, 3, and everyone at the same time will display the word they wrote. Then you as a teacher, you have a look at all the words and you ask them if some of them would like to give reasons for their choice or not. If not, you are going to be the first one just to set the example. And so in my case, I might say something like, well, I wrote the word break because in this moment, this is what I need. I need a break from this situation. Also, the word break comes from an expression which is break free. And that is exactly what I want. I want to break free from my house, break free from the pandemic. That's why I chose the word. After giving your reasons, then you have a look at all the other words and then you ask them if there's anyone that would like to share their reasons. If not, then you choose, especially the special words, the curious words, maybe the non-predictable ones. That was warm-up number 1. Hope you like it. Try it. It works. Warm-up number 2. It is called the spelling race. As the name says, you're going to be spelling words. What I do is I divide my group in my group in 2, like usually boys versus girls, because it's easier to divide. And then what we're using in the Zoom lessons, in the Zoom application, we use the chat. And so I choose an area of vocabulary that is somehow related to what we have been studying in English. I don't know, if you're dealing with animals, then you can select 5, 6 animals. And so you tell them that you're going to spell the word and that you're going to spell it twice. And then the first person to type the word correctly in the chat will be the one that scores a point for his or her group. So for example, you go like D-U-C-K, D-U-C-K, go! And so the first person that types the word duck correctly will score a point. It's a very successful activity too. It creates this sense of competition and it also helps to reinforce vocabulary that maybe we have seen in a traditional way in a book or whatever. So it's an interesting and funny way to deal with vocabulary. Warm-up number 3. In warm-up number 3, what we need to have is a box, yes? In my case, I have this beautiful kind of treasure chest, but you may have a shoebox or whatever. And what I did beforehand is I chose an object and I put it inside. What we have to do, what students have to do is they have to kind of guess the object by asking questions. Again, if you want to introduce an element of competition, you can divide them into 2 groups. Yes, again, we can have boys versus girls. You tell them clearly that questions should be yes or no, and you give an example. Is it possible to ask, what material is it made of? No, because the question can't be answered with a yes or a no. But can I ask, is it made of wood? Yes, it is. That's a yes or no question. After that, you clearly explain that there's a maximum number of questions and it is 10. You take turns, so maybe if a boy begins, then it's a girl's turn, until they guess. If you reach question number 8 and they are totally lost, then you can offer them some help. Yes? Is it made of glass? Yes, it is. Is it an object that we all have in our houses? No, it isn't. Is it an object that certain professions use? Probably yes. Is it made of glass? Yes. Is it a pair of glasses? No, it isn't. So after reaching the 10 questions, then you might open the chest and show, look, it's a magnifying glass, all right? Now, follow-up activities. You can, if you have time, of course, you can ask students to find their own boxes and choose their own objects. You have to tell them to avoid the predictable things, like, for example, their cell phones or a pen. So you can do that as a kind of homework. They can prepare that for the following meeting. And so then you use this warm-up one day, and the next lesson you use the same warm-up, but in that case a student will be in charge of answering questions. Yes, that is a lovely activity and it is very successful. Okay, here we go with warm-up number 4. This is called the alphabet game. Why the alphabet game? Because we're going to follow the alphabet order. Yes, if you're doing this with little children, primary students, you might write the alphabet. You can share the whiteboard in Zoom and you can write the alphabet just as a help, in case they don't remember the next letter. If you want, as a activity, you can kind of revise the letters. Yes, A, B, C, all right, in case they don't know. But it is this: you will have a very simple sentence which is going to be repeated all the time. You can write down the sentence in the whiteboard too. The sentence goes like this: the minister's cat is bling 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 cat. The bling 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 is the section students have to provide. And what word? An adjective. So, but the only condition is that the adjective should follow the order of the alphabet. So the first adjective is going to begin with A, the second one with B, the third one with C. So, the minister's cat is an angry cat. The minister's cat is a big cat. The minister's cat is a colorful cat, etc., etc., etc. Depending on the time you have, you can work on a elicitation of adjectives following the alphabet. Also, depending on the level of your students, you can go for more challenging adjectives. So instead of big for letter B, you can ask them to go with something more challenging. Maybe they can come up with boastful, for instance. So you should grade that according to the level you have. Now, you can do it in different ways. Again, you can go to the groups, you can do it spontaneously, like students raising their hands whenever they have a suggestion to make. You can do it with time, so that they have to rush up. So you tell them that they have 5 seconds to provide the next sentence. So you go like 5. This creates more suspense. And you have to tell them that the minimum goal is to reach at least, let's say, 5 letters of the alphabet, or maybe 10. That depends on the time you have. And you can do this like several days, trying to each day reach more letters. If the first day you just did 5 letters, then the second day you can try to reach 10 until you cover the whole alphabet. Then a nice follow-up activity that I did with some of my teenagers, especially the youngest ones, because the old ones maybe don't feel like doing it. It's a little bit too intimidating. Is that I chose a rap bass. I chose one with a slow tempo. I played the rap bass so that they could get familiarized with the beats and the rhythm, and then I asked them to try to join me rapping the whole thing. So I'm going to play one, for example this. I'm not a rapper myself, but we all take risks. So the minister's cat is an angry cat. The minister's cat is a Well, that's the idea. Another option is like you assign one letter to each student and they have to prepare that as homework. They have to prepare just one sentence each. And so then the next lesson that you are together, you play this music and then they do it one by one, yes, to see how it works. Another option to do with primary students is like they may choose the letter that they like, or maybe the letter of their initial, the letter of their name. Like, for example, in my case, Alina begins with A, and so then they have to draw the cat. And in my case, it's an angry cat, and so this is what I wrote. It's nice to share pictures then. The next day or the next lesson that you are together, then everyone shares the pictures of their versions of cats. You may have an angry cat or a big cat or a colorful cat or a furious cat or a dark brown cat or an electric cat or all the things that we say in the rap. So, warm up number 5, and this is the last warm up today. It is called Say 3 Things in 5 seconds. And so we have to come up with categories, yes? Hard. And I always show them a chronometer, because whenever you show a chronometer, then you create clearly more tension. And the idea is to have tension. The idea is to have students like kind of going crazy to say the 3 things before they run out of time, okay? So you may say like, say 3 things that you do every day before going to bed. Ready, steady, go! And you click on the chronometer. I would like to show a chronometer to you now. For example, this one. Can you see it? Yes? You have, in the internet, you have many of them. So whenever you click on that, the clock starts running down and they go crazy. So before going to bed, well, I brush my teeth, I put on my pajamas, and time's up. Yes, so try to find categories that might be funny for them or easy. That depends again on their level and on the style of your group. You can also include more challenging things, like you have 5 seconds to mention 3 flags that contain stars. Ready, steady, go! The United States, Brazil, Cuba! Yes, so that's the idea of the activity. Well, we have reached the end of these 5 first warm-ups. I have thousands of warm-ups to share with you, believe me. And I'm really, I'm a fan of all these activities. So you can find me in my Instagram. If I am not wrong, then I will type it when I work on the edition. I think it is Alina Queirolo. I think that's my Instagram. I'm not that sure. But the idea is I would like to have comments or questions or doubts or whatever you want on this video. And if there are people who are interested, I would like to have a live video Instagram where we can all meet and exchange this idea. Yes? So hope you like it. Hope you find it useful. See you. Bye.